Hey, Cookies here. I thought it would be a really fun idea with the 9.2 announcement that just came out to do like a little predictions list of all the legendary combos that we'll be able to do now as healers. Since the way it's going to work, just to clarify, is you get a Covenant legendary that you get to wear. So whatever Covenant you are, you get to equip that legendary for free, and then you also get to equip a regular legendary like we have in the whole expansion. So we're essentially just adding a Covenant legendary to our toolkit. Or if you wear the Covenant legendary already, then you're adding any legendary of your choice to your toolkit, which is awesome. So I just wanted to do like a little predictions list. This is all completely subject to change, and obviously there's going to be patch changes before the actual patch releases, so a lot of these can get nerfed, buffed, changed. You know, there might be, they haven't said anything yet, but there might be new legendaries, stuff like that. So we'll just go ahead and get started with the Resto Druid. So I think in Raid, Celestial Spirits and Vision of Unending Growth are going to be the go-to. These are just the highest throughput healing legendaries in the game for Resto Druid, and I don't think that's going to change. The way that they both work is just, they don't necessarily synergize together, but they're just amazing. And I mean, I guess they do synergize in a way because Celestial Spirits is allowing you to proc more flourishes throughout the encounter, and Vision of Unending Growth is going to keep more hots on the raid constantly through the procs, so that just means more benefit to the flourish that you're getting from your Convoke. And then for Mythic Plus, this one was probably like one of the hardest choices out of all the healers. I think there's a lot of potential for different legendary combos for Resto Druid, but I think it's going to end up being Celestial Spirits with Oath of the Elder Druid, actually, which is a legendary that lets you use Heart of the Wild every minute. So in combination with Celestial Spirits, this means you can go into Balance Affinity every single minute and have Heart of the Wild with your Convoke. So you have a Heart of the Wild with every single Convoke that you use, which just makes you do insane amounts of damage with those Convokes. So I think that might be really, really potent together, but we'll have to see. So next up we have Holy Paladin. I think in Raid, Divine Resonance and Shock Barrier are going to be the go-to. I know Glimmer got nerfed like constantly over the past like expansion or two, but I think that like Glimmer playstyle with really just working in as many Holy Shocks as you can is still going to be super beneficial. And with this, it just these two legendaries combined together is just going to let you cast so many Holy Shocks, you know, per minute, if we're putting it that way, where Shock Barrier is just going to be that much better, and it's just going to be, it's definitely going to be interesting. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it ends up playing out. But I think this will be a really, really potent combo with Glimmer and stuff like that. So. And then in Mythic Plus, I think that Radiant Embers and Mad Paragon are going to be the go-to. Radiant Embers and Mad Paragon put together. So essentially, Radiant Embers isn't good in dungeons at the moment because it's really difficult to, for one, have Wings last as long as... Wings already doesn't last as long as Ashen Hollow does. So you have to like rely on procs to make it last long enough for Ashen Hollow. So if you extend the duration of Ashen Hollow, it just makes that even harder. But with Mad Paragon equipped also, you get to extend your wings with every single Hammer of Wrath that you use. So this is going to make it a lot easier to keep wings up for the entire duration of Ashen Hollow, including for the entire extended duration of Ashen Hollow. So I think that these two together are going to be very, very, very good. Okay, next up we have Resto Shaman, and for Raid, I think Seeds of Rampant Growth and Primal Tidal Core are going to be the go-to. Night Fae with Seeds of Rampant Growth is just, out of all the Covenant-specific legendaries, this is the only one that really gives you like a big boost to healing and also stats, which I think is more important. It increases your crit. So I think that is going to make it kind of lean over the other options. And then Primal Tidal Core just because it's been the highest HPS legendary since the start of the expansion, and I think it will continue to do so. And then for Mythic Plus, I think Raging Vesper Totem, or Raging Vesper Vortex, and Deep Tremor Stone are two highest DPS legendaries, are going to be the go-to for Mythic Plus to just continue pushing that Shaman damage and keys. Definitely would see potentially the Vesper Totem getting nerfed, but again, we're just going into this predicting as the legendaries are now, and if they stay as they are, I think those will be just the go-to. You just pick the 2 highest damage legendaries because you don't need extra healing. Okay, and then for Monk. Right now, Venthyr Monk is really broken, so this one is probably the most subject to change, but we still have fun with it anyways and just predict. So, Sinister Teachings, which is the Venthyr legendary, and Ancient Teachings of the Monastery for raid, and then similar combo, Sinister Teachings and Tear of the Morning for Mythic Plus. I know people tend to pick between Ancient Teachings of the Monastery and Tear of the Morning for Mythic Plus. I prefer Tear of the Morning. I like the way that it heals. I like the benefit that you get. I think it's better in like a smaller group size. So Tear of the Morning is just my pick personally, but we'll see how that ends up playing out. Okay, so next we're going to go over Priest. For Discipline and Raid, Sphere's Harmony, and Clarity of Mind are probably going to be the go-to. This is going to make those ramps insanely good in the new tier, so I'm very interested to see how this ends up playing out. And then in Mythic Plus, I think Sphere's Harmony and potentially Kiss of Death, so I'm going to put that on there just as a fun little throw-in. I like how Kiss of Death plays, and I think it has potential in Mythic Plus if you use it as like a bonus legendary rather than a single legendary. And that should help Disc Priest damage be pretty significant next patch. And then for Holy Priest and Raid, I looked through most of the covenants, and like currently in the meta in 9.15 and 9.1, it doesn't really matter what covenant you play. So this is going to be a really interesting patch because it's going to really turn the tide of like now your covenant matters because you have a legendary tied to it. So Holy Priests are going to be more locked into a covenant in this new patch, I think. And I think that covenant for raid is going to be Necrolord. I think the Necrolord legendary just outpaces all the others in terms of healing done. So that combined with Flash Concentration is just going to make Holy Priest do more healing, which is awesome. And then for Mythic Plus, the legendaries are very lackluster for Mythic Plus because they mostly just do healing. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the utility legendary of Blomzombi's Pack. I haven't personally played with it, so it might be complete garbage. I don't know. But it seems good to be able to duplicate your fairy effect and reduce the cooldown, like the offensive cooldowns of multiple players. So say you had, you know, a shaman and a fire mage in your group, then you could reduce the cooldown of both of their major cooldowns, or, you know, fire mage and whatever other classes are really strong. I mean, we could even take like Windwalker Monk, for example, just reducing their cooldowns. All that kind of stuff is like super beneficial, and being able to do that to 2 players is just going to make your group be able to have cooldowns up more consistently throughout the run. And then that tied with Flash Concentration, because that's our typical go-to for Mythic Plus, because it just helps a lot with all the healing that happens. And that's pretty much it. So that covers all of my predictions for patch 9.2. Let me know what you think, and let me know what videos you'd like to start seeing, because I'm getting a list ready and we're going to start pumping out a bunch of videos as we get closer and closer to the new patch, and then hopefully we have a ton of new stuff coming out, and 9.2 will be an awesome kind of patch to come back to. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good one.